Attention shoppers, clean up on aisle 14. Clean up on aisle 14. Someone dropped a jar of pickles. Pickles. Kosher pickles.
Beatboxing at a big box store. Surprising. What's not surprising? How much you could save by switching to Geico.
A red minivan has the lights on in the parking lot.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Geico.
Don Le Batard.
It is funny to hear Stugotz and how generally resistant he is to knowledge.
Yeah.
Yep, it's the key to the show. Yep.
Stugotz.
You just figured out the secret sauce, Dexter.
Knowledge is my kryptonite. This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Chris Simms going to join us in a half hour on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. 52 now? Where are we at with
Whatever,
that?
it doesn't matter.
Okay. You do all 52 today, or maybe 10 a day, or what are we doing here?
We haven't decided.
We put it on the poll yesterday, and I think the audience is also committed.
They want to do it
it
once a day for the rest of, until March.
All right. Here's your SportsCenter update. Man, Roy. I mean, we talked about the story earlier off air, but I can't pronounce this guy's name. Shark Center Joe Thornton had a chunk of his beard ripped off during a fight with Maple Leaf center Nazem Kadri. No idea. The Rockets have guaranteed Gerald Green's contract for the rest of the season to the tune of $1.4 million. And finally, as many were expecting, HBO formally announced the 8th and final season of Game of Thrones will not air until 2019.
It might be a typo. Will now air.
Okay. It was. I'm not blaming anyone because I get fined if I blame someone. But that's Roy's fault. For all the latest headlines and information, tune in the SportsCenter on ESPN Radio all throughout the day. It's Mike's fault. Roy, I'm sorry. It's Mike's fault.
I did tell you, man. I know I made a mistake in that. You got to read through that.
Let me explain
You told me that?
to the audience, and Guillermo, you're going to like this. We have become, we are filled with bluster, and I wish you could have heard Stugotz during the break so you would see what a diva he's become. We are a marching band to nowhere. Like, we just march around, make noise, make music, make these plans, and then we don't want to do anything, or we can't actually do it. We are a marching band to nowhere. And what happened with Stugotz during the break, first of all, what are you saying that your tombstone should read? I'll get right back to you?
Nah, if I didn't get back to you, I'm sorry.
I'll get back to you. It's better.
So your tombstone, he's kicking this down the road. He's wanted a day all his life. These people are giving it to him. And during the break, he's telling me that he wants to just sit on the tarmac. He wants to land there, sit on the tarmac. The thing that he's objecting to is they want to show him a tour of City Hall. And he's like, I'm more likely to go if you wouldn't. I don't want to see City Hall. I want to just land on the tarmac. You give me the key and I fly back out, which sort of defeats the purpose and is snobby and elitist. I'm not down with any of Stugotz's behavior on this.
They can mail me the key. Listen, I'm just telling the great people of Sioux Falls and our affiliate out there. Sioux Falls.
That's a fine.
It's not for me, though. Sioux Falls, and that's a fine for you for pointing out a fine for me.
That's not a fine for me. $1. That's only a fine for you.
Oh, I owe some. Let's see if I have some. Hold on. Check today. Yep, no cash. Sorry, man.
That's another fine.
How do you know? I mean,
no, because when you don't have cash, you don't. If that's a fine, if you get fined $1.
You have to stop
and if you don't have it,
let me check again. Let's see if I have something down.
If you deny that you have money and then it is learned that you had money, that too is a fine.
Oh, looky. Couple of fitties. What do I owe here?
$3 now.
You got change there, right?
Yes, plenty, because I have been $3 today. Yes.
What?
Yes.
I mean, what is going on here? Anyway, I'm telling the great people of Sioux Falls, save the money on the tour of City Hall and put it in my pocket. I don't want to go on the tour. And it probably costs an amount of money, and just save it and give it to me. That's fair. I mean, I'm not. Should I be obligated to do everything?
Mike, let me ask you a question.
I'm doing something. Can we stop talking about things and actually do something?
All right. Well, this is what I'm going to ask. This is what I'm going to ask. What if I commit right now to going and having a Dan day? Will Stugotz be jealous?
absolutely be jealous.
I don't want to do that either. Yeah.
I know you don't want to do it either.
No, but I might do it
threat.
to cover for Stugotz on this. No, of course I don't want to do it.
Well, what makes you think they want it? Yeah! I felt bad saying that, actually.
Not really.
I did it.
Mike.
Your entire career, you're like, I want the show to be with and Stugotz, not with Stugotz. You want to be the star. This is a day just for you. And it just so happens to be in a state you have zero interest in going to.
Right.
But it's cool. It's big.
It is
and it's
cool.
all been approved.
It is cool, and it's been approved, which is usually longer. It's deeper into the process than we normally get. We usually get stopped right at the doorstep of approved.
Yeah. Look, we find ourselves in a position with UCF where we're waiting on approval. All this is waiting on is just you to say yes and actually do it.
That's all
and
that has to
all
happen.
your great suffering is that you have to fly somewhere where they honor you for an entire day, give you a key to the city, and you're doing layup lines, and everyone is just so excited because Stugotz goes to Sioux Falls, and you know what that means? Sioux Falls is big time, and you're just going to
We
big
might
time
get a
them.
camera crew to go with you, like ESPN will cover it. ESPN
That
will
wasn't
cover
an all right, like, okay, I'm confirming, okay, I'll get back to you.
All right. That seems to be where we're stuck at the moment.
I'm going to read it over the weekend,
Okay.
and I even promised Mike that I would call him over the weekend to discuss.
Okay.
I did. I promised him that.
But your promises mean nothing.
It's a lie, though.
Your promises mean nothing. Your promises.
I've earned that.
Guillermo, put it on the poll. Are Stugotz's promises toilet paper?
I mean, you do that for me, Dan Day? You do that for me?
Well, am I doing it for you? Because I feel like if I did do it, you would just then resent me for taking your day that you didn't want. Like you are you're.
Well, what happened?
I would do it for you.
It's
Yes.
Dan Day, you do all the same things, but I still get the cash? Because I'll agree to that right now.
Well, that's noble of you.
How great is that? A Stugotz.
I don't even send out a tweet about it
Mike,
just to promote it.
Mike, can you find out for me if the appearance fee would be larger for me than it is for Stugotz?
I'll get right on that,
That's
boss.
really at the crux of all of this. You want to know the truth?
What?
I mean, it's, it's a little light.
It's a little light.
To be honored.
It's a little light.
All
The
expense
appearance fee
paid.
is
5
a little
flights,
light.
and
5 flights.
One way.
Since we're wasting ESPN's time and money, why don't I just do it a little more overtly? Mike, can I get 3 tickets to the national championship game? Like, what do I need to do to get 3 tickets to the bogus national championship game that the 2 loser schools
Why,
are
the
playing?
ESPN hasn't gotten back to you on this?
No, well, here's the thing. The owners of the Clevelander want tickets to this game. They've been very nice to us. Good Lord, those people have been kind to us and supported us, and they never asked for anything. And so I'd like to help them, but I don't know how to help them because everyone thinks I've got like a closet filled with dwarves who make tickets to important sporting events, but I don't ask for things like that. So how would I go about, how hard a ticket is that, first of all? How hard a ticket is it right now to get a national championship game ticket with that close to Alabama?
Well, you could pay for it.
No, I'd be happy to pay for it.
Okay,
No.
well, there's all sorts of, secondary sites you can go.
Yeah.
There's a resale market on this.
I mean, expensive, but.
So that's an option. I know we gave you a number. Did you not call that number?
I did call that number. I didn't get a return phone call. I called it several times.
Wow. Did you say I'm Dan Levin?
Did you
got
say
someone-
I'm Dan Levitard?
Right. Did you?
Yeah, well, I didn't assume that the person on the other end of the line would know who that is. I just said
you say-
I host a show.
Do you know who I am?
I did
Here's
say,
who I am.
You know who I am.
Am
I did.
bona
I
What
put
is this
separate
number?
attention.
I mean,
Yes.
Well, no, the number doesn't do anything, though. I
Stugotz,
called
do
the
you wanna
number.
call?
You're gonna call.
yeah, but yes, I do. But what is. I'm calling on Dan's behalf.
Yeah.
We asked the question. I ran it up to our babysitter, Liam, because Dan asked me about this question that he had about getting tickets for the people at the Clevelander, and I didn't even know where to start with that, and I ran it up our corporate babysitter, and he gave us a number, and Dan said, Mike Allison, I put too much on your plate this week. I'm going to call them. I'll handle it. Just give me a number. We gave him the number, and here we are.
All right. So there's a number you're saying within ESPN that you call
Allegedly,
when you
no,
need
but
tickets?
I left a message for that person. I haven't heard back, so it's just this hole maybe where they throw everybody who wants tickets, and then
Are we on the air?
are we?
Very self-involved. Mm-hmm. If we are
This is on the air.
It's so self-involved if it is.
What's that number?
Dan Le Batard.
You are the best, and when I say the best, I mean the very worst and most evil.
Stugotz.
The worst.
But this time, it's for real.
The worst.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Mike, help me out here, please, on something. Guillermo, add these 2 to the polls exactly this way, please, if you do not mind. Are we a marching band to nowhere? And would the Bengals let Marvin Lewis go if Bill Belichick became available? Put those both on the poll. But this is what I want to do, Mike, before we leave here for the weekend at the end of the show. Do you guys think it's a good idea? Do we have any chance of making the following happen? Teddy Bruschi, there are a handful of ESPN employees who just don't like our show. They had a bad experience with our show. Is Mark Brunell still at the network?
No.
Okay. So just Mark Brunell was mad. He didn't like that I asked him some questions about publicly going bankrupt, and I get that. And Bruschi.
Yeah, that Brunell thing was all weird. The Brunell thing was super weird because we cleared everything that we were going to ask him with him, and then he said that we didn't.
Right.
And then we're like, no, we did. And he's like, you guys are right, but I still don't like you.
All right. Yeah, well, but NFL Live basically doesn't like us, right? And so what I'm wondering, because earlier in the show we were pointing out that Bruschi is like that Baghdad minister of defense who would come out and just defend any atrocity. He would just come out, and he was basically Iraq's Sean Spicer. We've been calling him Baghdad Bruschi, and I'm wondering if there'd be something funny in inviting Bruschi on the show. He hasn't been on since he got mad at us, and then just asking him questions like, Teddy, say a thing the Patriots have ever done wrong. Say, like pinning him down with a tough interrogative interview.
It would be really funny, and he would have none of it.
None of it.
Not going to play along.
Well, but
won't agree
upset
to it.
that you're
Doesn't
even
matter.
talking about it on the air and spitballing it.
Yep.
In fact, there's probably a phone call that's already been made.
Yep.
Oh, you think somebody's going to be? Oh, he's going to be angry just by the. But then
Dan, we angered him just by whatever we said when he was doing First Take. That's going to set him
He just
off.
didn't like our nonsense the first time we interviewed him, and that's cool. I get it. I totally get it, especially someone as straight-laced as Teddy Bruschi. That doesn't appear to be a fit, and there's no way he'd play along with that, certainly. And there's no way he'd even tolerate it.
It's a good idea, though.
I don't mind escalating our beef with Teddy Bruschi, though, with Baghdad Bruschi. He's certainly not going to like that. He's gonna learn that this nickname, we are now menacing a champion linebacker who's about 100 pounds lighter than he played, but still.
Yeah, he's still very menacing. He looks very scared. I don't want to cross that guy. Right. In fact, I'm a little scared talking about it. I don't like that we made the Baghdad Bob joke. I'm probably going to hear about that.
Baghdad Bruschi. Are we looking at this controversy with the Patriots and Bruschi? So everyone else is always wrong. The Patriots are clean.
That's right.
Yeah. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you know why? Because they actually still win. So they hold up the trophy, and then you just have to eat it. You're like, okay, I guess I was wrong.
It's the Patriot way, man.
You guys were right because you always win.
Why would it be different with Teddy Bruschi? The entire fan base will never acknowledge that they've done a single thing wrong.
But I find a lot of this story interesting, but one of them is the Patriots do feel like they are persecuted by ESPN, that ESPN is always coming after the Patriots. And there have been some lapses in reporting that ESPN has admitted to that has allowed that particular audience, which the Boston audience is just crazy in terms of how overzealous it is about its team and how much its sports identity is tied up in its team. So Chris Mortensen is an evil figure in Boston because he dared go after the Golden Calves with investigative reporting. And I'm telling you that the area of Boston, because their allegiance to the Patriots is so strong, that area hates ESPN.
I know, and it's ridiculous to me. I mean, the reason we cover the Patriots the way we cover the Patriots is because the Patriots are the best. That's simple. You are the best at something, and you should be flattered by that. And with that, because this network has also showered Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, and Bob Kraft with praise. They've showered that organization with praise over the years, and I'm guessing a lot more praise than negative stuff, than criticism of the Patriots. But that fan base only hears the criticism, man. That's all they hear.
Well, but there have also been a couple of investigations.
I'm not saying there haven't.
But one of the things that I find fascinating about the Patriots in general is the idea of, yes, they have a persecution complex. Absolutely. The fan base and the organization has a persecution complex, and yet it is absolutely persecuted. Like, the things that have happened with the investigations are so flimsy. And they're not things that we would be talking about this way as a company, ESPN, if it had not been the Patriots. Browns had a cheating scandal with text messages. If the Patriots had done that, it would have been a far worse crime. Not the crime itself, but the people doing it. And so it can be both those things. The Patriots have a persecution complex, but also ESPN feeds on this. But why is it always them? We're always talking about where else in sports? Give me where else in sports. As much us against them or us against the world as you will find in sports.
Right.
Where does it feel more us against the world than with the Patriots, where they're against ESPN, they're against the league. The league, they don't trust the league investigations.
Sure.
Everybody who plays against them hates them because they're always winning and jealous.
Yep.
Like, who is more us against the world anywhere in sports than the Patriots?
I mean, I don't think there is one. Maybe. Can you think of one, Mike? Duke, maybe? Duke basketball? I don't even know.
I was actually going to say ESPN. ESPN, it's like that.
ESPN is...
I was listening to this really interesting podcast done by Jim Miller talking about the origins of our company and its interactions with social media. And Adam Schefter made the point that when he got hired, someone said, "Welcome to the Yankees." And he's like, "No, it's bigger than the Yankees. You're making a template here, and everyone's ready to jump on you." And that's sort of how it feels. Look at any time this company makes a mistake. Everyone jumps on and pounces. And you kind of feel, I know as an employee, I kind of feel like it's us against them.
I mean, they win more than everybody. And so they're interesting, even though the personalities by themselves, none of them are interesting.
The Canes had that, right? Back in the 80s and 90s?
I kind of feel like
the world.
The Miami Heat's big three.
The Miami Heat's big three had some of that. But again, it's not the league against you. That's the thing to me that makes it...
Well, no, the league, the NCAA was against the Miami Hurricanes, weren't they?
And the NBA, considering the rules that came out afterwards with the cap and all.
I'm sorry, I meant with the Heat and the Big Three.
Okay, right.
Where the league is not against you, where you're not feeling... The Patriots can have a legitimate gripe, even though the rest of us could be like, what are you talking about? The Patriots could make an argument in case in court for the idea the league is out to get us. Because the investigations have been so flimsy and the penalties have been so stiff in terms of shame and actual punishment what other sports team, like the Raiders used to be able to say that it's us against the league.
Yeah.
The Raiders of Al Davis before his scarecrow haired son took over the team.
The Warriors aren't saying that, right? Because the league loves the Warriors. The league. I'm talking about Adam Silver. The league loves the Golden State Warriors.
I guess you could say that the league, because what is a league other than just all the owners? The owners were sort of really upset at the Miami Heat, and they changed the rules after that.
Yes.
And so it kind of felt like us against the world there.
Again, getting back to Baghdad Brewski, how do we interview him about any of these things? Like Brewski, this is a thing. People recognize this, right? That the next negative thing that Teddy Bruschi says on the air about the Patriots will be the first, right? No matter what they're involved in. Teddy Bruschi is a paid consultant to the Patriots. I don't know if that's actually true. I'm saying that every word suggests that it is.
I will say the last couple of times, and I don't want to paint him with such a broad brush, but the last couple of times he's been on the TV and they've talked about Patriots, I've tried to guess what he's going to say, and we've nailed it.
Right.
You know?
It's not hard.
Well, but why don't we interview him like that, though?
Well, why don't you
Teddy,
interview?
Because he doesn't want to be on our show.
No. I think let's do this though. We should interview like me or Mike as if we were Teddy Bruschi. You do the interview, and we'll just tell you what he would say if he agrees.
Do you
want
to do it that way?
We can try.
I mean, I don't think this is going to work, but okay.
We can try.
It's probably not.
Or we
work.
can get Chris Simms' 52nd best quarterback. Whatever you want.
We got no shot of getting Baghdad Brewski on the show.
No, especially if you keep putting it down.
How much trouble am I in for calling him Baghdad Brewski?
Don Le Batard.
Let's go back to Mel Kiper Jr.'s list of divas.
Number 2, definitely on my diva big board is Whitney Houston. Definitely been going back and forth on this one throughout the process. Dan certainly has all the tools. You talk about it in I Will Always Love You, arguably the greatest ballad of all time, but ultimately I couldn't escape the off-the-field concerns. Hanging around with a shady group. Dan, this has a lot of team executives a little nervous, a little gun-shy to pull the trigger on Whitney Houston.
He's dead!
That would be an off-the-field concern, Dan.
Stugotz.
Number 1, Beyonce Knowles, 5'7", 137 pounds, extremely confident in her abilities, powerful voice, incredible agility, has proven she can be part of a team, but also go out on her own and win you a game. Astonishing lower body strength, too. She could probably squat a cement truck, Dano. Consider me a loud and proud member of the Beehive. She's overcome a lot of adversity, weak teammates, lack of roster continuity, pregnancies, Becky with the good hair, displayed incredible resiliency. There's a reason she's Bay.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
All right, we're going to open up the club here in 15 minutes. We are going to update the polls. We got to get some Crusade updates. Mike Ryan is ready to put UFC, the letter F before UFC.
UCF, Dano.
Fino,
Dano.
Yeah, that is.
Off the air conversation, Dano. That's a fine.
Okay.
We're going to start finding you for that leaky faucet tard.
$20 fine.
Yeah,
I mean,
What? I thought that was for on air. We're not going to feud with you at UCF. Unless they betray us. Mike Stugotz is
I'm ready to go.
I mean, we're going to get the bus. We're going to get the Wingo and Golick bus. We're going to steal that, but we might have to go and declare Lane Kiffin's FAU team national champions, despite its 3 losses.
we're prepared to pivot.
We are prepared to pivot.
A lot closer.
Okay. It is a lot closer.
It's a 2-minute drive from my house. Let's do that, actually.
Chris Simms joins us now. Bleacher Report. He's ranking the 70 best quarterbacks in the NFL. Number 70 was Blake Bortles. Gave us a bonus, and number 71 was Cody Kessler. So the rest of the list is comprehensive, and the last few are number 60, Landry Jones, 59, Paxton Lynch, 58, Matt Castle, Ryan Mallett, Deshaun Kaiser, Brock Osweiler, Savage, Hoyer. So, number 52, Chris Simms says the 52nd best quarterback in the world is
Matt Schaub, Atlanta Falcons.
Wow, he's still
no
playing.
idea, yes.
No idea.
No idea.
None. Did not know Matt Schaub was still in the league. Guillermo put it on the poll. Did you know Matt Schaub was still in the league? Woof. Woof. 52.
I want to know when it's going to get so exciting that I'm going to get a different type of wow out of Stugotz, right?
That's right.
That's what I know.
Yeah, yes, he's a very limited. Wow, it's what made it Stugotz Day in Sioux Falls that he just does wow. Can you give us before we let you go here, what do you make of this Brady Belichick? Give us some thoughts on what you think of this Brady Belichick situation.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, I worked up there for 18 months after I got done playing, and I had heard this year that there was some things going on in the background just as far as Belichick and Kraft, and that Kraft was wearing on the coaching staff of the New England Patriots, maybe sticking his nose in places he hadn't, in the past. So I think there is some truth to this story. The total details of it, I don't know. I certainly don't. But, then you get into that Don Yee conversation, not Don Yee, the trainer, Alex Guerrero, into that. That's very odd, and I'm sure Bill Belichick didn't love that, having a guy in his facility on a daily basis where players were listening to him. He's not directly getting the updates from Alex Guerrero, so they're kind of going around the team's physical trainers who report to Bill Belichick. So I think those are some of the issues, but I can promise you up in New England, they're not fazed by this. It's work as usual. They're not going to listen to it, and they're going to continue on their drive for their 6th championship.
Wow.
Yeah, that was good analysis. All right, Chris, thank you for being on with us. Enjoy the weekend. We will talk to you on Monday, sir.
All right, guys, be good.
All right, see you.
Oh, look at now. Baghdad Brewski's on Sports Center.
There he goes.
There he is. Tension. Let's turn it up. Mike, let's turn it up. Let's hear what he's saying on Sports Center.
And as great as I think Alex Guerrero is, I love Jim Whalen. That training staff there at the New England Patriots, what they did for me, I went through a lot there. It was special. I had a special relationship with the trainers, and that's where I wanted to go. I knew Alex was available even back then when I played, but Jim Whalen and the training staff is where I was understood as
their
a player.
trainers are so good I couldn't even choose between them.
Now, when you have two people in there that have conflicts of interest, I go into a training staff, say they want to throw some ice on something. You go to Alex, he believes something else. Maybe he believes deep tissue massage or something. So there were conflict of interest.
Oh, the conflict. You see, he admitted conflict there, but it's not real conflict. It's between a deep tissue massage and ice, not injections, and a doctor who's not a doctor and a cornerback who never ages. It was between ice. That's what the secret is for Tom Brady's youth. Ice and deep tissue massage. Turn him back up.
That's their fault. That's their fault. That's on them. Players. That's on you if you think, I got to go here and please Belichick. I got to go here and please Brady.
Guillermo, please put on the poll whether Brewski's helmet his face should be on the Patriots helmet instead of the Patriots.
First, because that's
kind of looks like it is already. Yeah, his jawline.
When's he get glasses, by the way? It's a fake? Or?
I mean, it helps. Whatever it's doing, it's helping just this whole thing.
That's what I'm saying, man. That's my whole theory on glasses.
Like Alex is to him, but it was
a good-looking man.
He is a good-looking man.
If I wanted anything extra, I'd go with Alex Guerrero. If some of these players have conflicts on where they should go because they're worried about how people think. Maybe the mental toughness of some of those players isn't as good as I thought.
Brewski's management. These players. These weak players. Man, hey, somebody at ESPN. Somebody. Like, we need to start testing for brainwashing around here. Like, we're clearly putting someone on the air who's been brainwashed by Bill Belichick in some sort of complicated procedure with a room where he just says all Patriots good, positive things. And the major conflict that they've had over all these years is just between ice and deep tissue massage.
Strange evolution of this show recently. I feel like the last 2 weeks it's just been Dan going, hey, someone! Give me something!
ESPN.
Something! Here! Who's there? Who's in charge of this? Right! Brisky! Talk here! Do an interview! Why won't this? Someone! Give me a bus! Give me a bus! Who's paying for it? I don't care. You are! Someone!
It is.
Tell me.
It is. You're absolutely right.
You felt it too?
College football playoff! You saw it! Fake champion!
Wrong champion.
You see I'm champion! Someone!
Sherman! Get me Sherman!
Whitebeard! Someone! White! Condoleezza! That's a fine! What?
Smoke him out!
Yeah, it is. The power is totally gone to my head.
Manfred! Yes or no? Stop! We're number one!
Aaron!
What
do you think you are?
It is. What happened?
Where's
Wait a
Moon?
minute.
Where's
Wait, hold on. Am I becoming Mad Dog? Like, is this how the aging process works for a sports radio person? Where the way that I become Mad Dog and Francesa is just by barking in every direction. Hey, who's getting me national championship ticket?
Forgot about that one.
Oh, yeah.
Not for me. Clevelander people. Hey!
Wait a minute, Guillermo, why were you so delighted at the idea? Guillermo's been laughing at me for 3 straight segments. Go ahead and tell the people why you've been laughing at me for 3 straight segments.
I mean, I want to pay for the voicemail you left someone asking for national championship tickets because it's just going to be you awkwardly. Hi, this is Dan Le Batard. I host 2 shows on this network. I was wondering if maybe you could get me.
Hold on. I'm going to give you the number right now. You come in here and you call this woman and see if she'll give us the voicemail. You might be able to actually hear me.
She hasn't called you back
No,
yet.
she hasn't called me back, but you might be able to get a hold of somebody and she might actually give you the voicemail.
Hey, give me the voicemail.
Someone, come here in the studio. Take my phone. Someone, call her. Get the voicemail.
Let's
Someone.
go ahead and update the polls. No, you're so right. We need to rein this in. I'm completely out of control.
No way.
It's an egomaniac.
Call Mina. Someone.
Yes,
I've been waiting to do the show with Francesa my entire life.
I know.
Man.
Finally, here he is. I waited for Francesa to get out of the game so I could proclaim us the greatest sports radio show in the land. And I am heir to the gas bag throne.
At Le Batard Show on Twitter.
I'm going to fall asleep at the microphone here and then blame Mike Ryan. Mike!
Someone. Who's listening? Do this.
I could manage the Yankees, though. I could. Go ahead. Let's update the polls.
I just had a visual of you.
Yes, of me storming out of the dugout to argue a call.
Just you as a skipper.
Yeah, pulling up my pants.
In a baseball uniform.
That's right.
Dan Le Batard.
It's Friday. I'm getting into the weekend. I want to get my drink on.
Stugotz.
We've got to open up the club. Open it. Open it. Open it. Now. What is the computer buffering? There it is.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
We're going to open up the club in a second. I hope Mike can give us some updates on where our Crusades stand headed into the weekend. I don't know if I'm going to be in Disney World on Sunday to give some sort of proclamation. If we're going to, the bus has been stolen. The Wingo and Golick bus is now in our possession. It's been stolen, or we're in the process of stealing it still?
Wheels in motion.
Okay.
All right.
Let's update the polls, please, at Le Batard Show. We're hoping we can do this with UCF. It'd be very exciting. Instead, we're probably just going to be a marching band to nowhere. Go ahead, Stugotz.
Who invented the locker room schism news? Adam Schefter or Ian Rappaport? I thought it was Rappaport, but apparently, I think we were wrong, Dan. 64% of the audience at Adam Schefter. Would every team except the Bengals fire their coach for Bill Belichick? 87% of the audience said yes. Would you trade Bill Belichick for a magical oracle who can actually create a fountain of youth? 68% of the audience said yes.
Oh, I was hoping that would go no there.
Are the Patriots now enduring the movie Any Given Sunday? 79% of the audience said yes. Are you surprised that Stugotz is now rejecting all of his dreams coming true because it's 23 degrees in Sioux Falls? I actually got a text from the guy at Sioux Falls, and he said it's not 23 degrees, it's -2 today. He also said, why the hell would you want to come here? Then he said, we're expecting a heat wave in February, though, and I said I'd get back to him.
All right.
Nice guy. He is some guy. I bought him lunch.
Yeah, but he needs to get the appearance fee.
I bought him lunch to try to get him away, and it didn't work.
He needs to get the appearance fee up.
I'm going to negotiate over the weekend, and then I'll talk to Mike, and then I'll call Mike, and then I'll read the email, and then I'll get back to everyone. Is that something you would want to do?
What is that? Guillermo, what is that? What the Sioux Falls Day? Would you like to have a day in Sioux Falls?
Guys, this has never happened before.
Oh,
no, what?
Oh, no.
And that's why it's such a tough decision.
What?
That's never happened before.
That is why you think that is. It is a tough decision.
Don't you even say it. Don't you even say it.
I'm going to say it.
It's not true.
What
Whatever you're going to say.
50-50.
No way.
Not true. Never happened in the history of the show.
Crazy.
What? I can't even believe that. All the polls that we've done, same number.
May first time. Unbelievable. Are we a marching band to nowhere? Pretty lopsided here.
I mean, we are. We're making a bunch of noise. We keep threatening to have parades, to unleash parades, and then we don't do anything.
91% of the audience said we are a marching band to nowhere.
We're a marching band to nowhere.
But that was not as lopsided as this. Are Stugotz's promises toilet paper? 96% of the audience said yes. 4% mistakenly clicked the wrong button.
I thought we were going to get 100% for the first time there.
We were close. I think yesterday was the closest on something.
Let's go ahead and...
Hold on, I have one more. Would the Bengals let Marvin Lewis go if Bill Belichick became available? 62% of the audience said no. Did you know Matt Schaub was still playing? 80% of the audience said no. Those are the polls. Oh, should Teddy Bruschi's face be on the Patriots helmet? 80% of the audience said yes.
Yeah, I'm not even going to be here on Monday after whatever Bruschi does to the Bristol headquarters because of what we've been doing to him today.
Oh, boy.
Let's go ahead and open up the club.
The poll from yesterday, by the way, is Stugotz always angling, is right now at 98% yes.
All right, 98% I think is the highest vote. How many votes? How many votes is it?
15,000.
We are wasting everybody's time, money, and reach. 15,000 votes. That's proof on the internet. First sound in the club as we celebrate the work week gone by. What is it?
And the price of love is sometimes that you have to say goodbye.
Oh, so true, so wise, so true, so wise.
I want to say goodbye.
What a rodeo it was, man. Did you see them ride? They put their spurs on and they kicked that horse. Yeah. And they kicked it, and what a way to finish. Yeah. What a way to go out.
Goodbye, Chuck.
Maybe he gets the Patriots job if Belichick leaves.
First hire the doctor who's not a doctor, and the two of them win championships for eternity. That's the NFL fantasy world I want to live in.
It'd be a great move just to prove to Belichick it wasn't him. We're going to win with this guy.
That's right. Watch this. Bill, you thought it was you? We're going to win with Pagano. You know who's offensive coordinator is going to be? John Fox. McAdoo and Tom Sula are going to be on the staff.
Brady should say, get me all the worst coaches.
What do you got? What else you got, Mike? What else are you letting into the club?
But I'm still here.
Yeah! Oh, nice. The late Frank Layden.
Hi, Frank. It's good to see you, buddy.
Who else is in the club?
Want to come to the party?
What party?
Big party. Megacast. We're going to be all over ESPN. Do you want to come?
No.
Okay, that is the late Frank Layden. We interviewed him from the Beyond. Honestly, go look at pictures of Frank Layden. If I told you in 1980, is that guy going to make it to 2017? You would have said, come on, man.
It's so true.
I mean, seriously, Frank, and if Frank was an honest interview, he would have told us that.
If you asked Frank in the 80s.
Yes. No way I'm getting to 2017. Who else in the club?
Step back, one-legged. What kind of shot is that?
Hall of Famer Patrick Ewing coaching correctly.
Have you ever shot that shot? Do you work on that shot? When?
Means the kid had to say yes.
Yes, it's such a. When have you worked on that shot?
When?
Really boxed him in there. Who else is in the club? Oh, of course, Cornbread Maxwell, orgasmic.
Take that with your beard.
Of course, is the Celtics over the Rockets.
Man, give me some Cheetos, somebody. I need something to eat.
You can't play that enough. Like, just all of it. All corn. Yeah, that right there. Who else in the club?
I'm still here, guys.
Is that damn Adnan?
I'm still here, guys.
Oh, for the love of God. Man. I don't want to hear his voice. This guy's trying to get on the show for months now. Who else is in the club?
I heard Stephen Smith screaming at me on TV.
Oh, boy.
Oh, John Gruden, Stephen A. Smith beef.
Yeah. Y'all keep trying me.
Mm-hmm.
I think Gruden would probably want the Patriots job, no, instead?
I'm seeing people talk, and people without my resume talking. I'm getting a little bit tired of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry to break it down. I'll say it on national television. I was one of the best.
Oh, so you made him do that. He was sorry to do it. He didn't want to do it, and you made him do it.
I was one of the best.
Yeah, still are. Still are. Who else is in the club?
Why is he even having a tribute video? I mean, he was only there 2 years.
Steven Jackson saying Isaiah Thomas doesn't deserve a tribute video. Go.
You said gangsters instead of gangsters.
Ridiculous.
I'm not kidding.
If he eats that piece of head.
Oh, my God.
I already ate the piece of
If he eats that piece of head.
That is
Tear me off half of that, Stu. I want to get involved.
Oh, no.
Oh, God, I dare you.
It's making
This is worse than any grid of death punishment. There's no way you're going to do it. The fact that you're holding it.